Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass and Move. For today's episode, we're taking on Bayern Munich and Manchester City as we promised. Two very tough games, of course, but the one against Bayern even more tough. Actually, to be honest, they both have their own little stories. But let's update you on what happened since the last episode. So, of course, the first thing you'll notice is the league table. We are tied at the top with two other teams in Manchester City and Tottenham. 24 points, so out of a possible 30, not bad. Not 30, out of a possible 27, not bad at all. All three teams grabbing 8 wins and 1 loss. And Southampton being the surprise team of the season so far. Chelsea not doing too well either, but that's pretty much it. Everyone that you would expect to be in and around the top spots are there. And credit to Tottenham, who haven't necessarily got the funds. Let's see if they spent any money. So they bought one guy and that's it. But they're still playing fairly well. But anyways, let's show you the fixtures since the last episode. So we did show you that first game against Victoria, and unfortunately we followed that with an away loss to Southampton, with just a simple 1-0 loss, with Manolo Gabbiadini grabbing the winner in the 86th minute. After we tried to, pretty much grab a winner ourselves, we went into sort of a crazy tactic to try and grab a winner, but backfired. They hit us on the counter and scored their goal. Managed to beat Walsall in the Carabao Cup third round though, 2-1, eventually grabbing the winner at the last moment as well. We did go behind in the first half, but Lukaku pretty much won it for the team by himself, and that sets us up for the fourth round, which is going to be against Tottenham. So showing you 3 games is going to be a bit much. We just want to stick to these two, the main two, and I don't think the Carabao Cup matters too much, not in terms of our own goals, not to the boards, and unless we reach a final, then it doesn't really make sense to show you that. Anyways, we did manage to beat Brighton 2-0 at home. Andon got sent off for the away team, but nonetheless, kind of had the game wrapped up already by then. Jones and Lukaku scoring within 15 minutes of time, and kind of just cruised through the rest of the match. Against Valencia, we lost 2-1. Alexis Sanchez tried to kickstart a comeback, but unfortunately wasn't enough. Rodrigo scoring twice within the space of 2 or even 3 minutes. And we just couldn't recover. We were at home, not an acceptable result at all, and which is why the Bayern game is a huge game, because it's the third one in our Champions League group games, and third out of the 6. We have no points at all. We really have tough opposition, like I mentioned. Can't seem to do anything in Europe at the moment, and I do have to put that down to our formation, but it's pretty much the best way I can get everything out of the team. So we'll try and see whether we can get a good result as is. We might just not have too much luck in Europe, but otherwise we might have to consider changing our tactics for the sake of European football and keep things as is in the Premier League, because it seems to be working in the Premier League. Managed to beat Arsenal away from home 1-0, Juan Mata scoring in the 58th minute, and that was pretty much enough to defeat the Gunners. Another 3 points away to Watford, tough opposition, but we managed to beat them as well. Sanchez and Mata scoring in the first half, and Troy Deeney giving us a bit of a scare in the second, but we held on and we came through to the other side. So it's going to be a Bayern and Manchester City double header. Hopefully we can pick up all 6 points, but if we can't, then the 3 points I'd rather pick up is really at Manchester City in the Premier League, because that will help us top the table potentially if Tottenham drop points as well. But obviously there are rivals as well. But at the same time, at the moment I'm just targeting the Premier League, and the Champions League can sort of stay in the back burner for now. I mean, the board expectations reach quarterfinals, so they're going to be very upset with how it's gone so far. We do need to pick up the points for sure. I'm not really sure why board confidence is 55% if we lost the first 2 games. Still in it somewhat. They always say if you want to get out of a group stage in the Champions League, just get 12 points. I think it was Sir Alex Ferguson who said that. That normally is enough to get you by, and that means we do have to win every single game that's left over for us, which is pretty much a double header against Bayern and a game against Valencia and Victoria again. So hopefully this can kickstart our Champions League campaign. But again, like I mentioned, I'm more focused on trying to beat Manchester City. Anyways, I'm going to have to make a couple of changes because some players are struggling with fitness. So unfortunately, just drop Sanchez to the bench in case we need him. And Matic tiny bit struggling, not too big, but I don't want to risk anyone else getting injured. I think I mentioned in the last episode, it feels like FM19 people are just getting injured left, right and centre. I don't know if it's because my assistant's in charge of training now, or whether it's just the way FM19 is, or I just have an injury-prone squad. I'm not sure. But yeah, in terms of updates on injuries, Valencia and Sandro are the only ones left still out. And Valencia is 5 to 10 days, and Sandro is 2 to 4 weeks. So hopefully we have both very soon. I did mention that in the next position that we're going to address is actually the right back spot. So we'll be moving on either Young or Valencia. I think both of them, to be honest, their contracts run out in the summer anyways. But if we do bring in someone in the winter transfer market, we'll try and get rid of them then. But it's kind of difficult once the players' contracts run out. I think Fellaini was injured in the last episode, but he's back now, but not involved in the squad. Rojo, we already mentioned about him being transferred. Hopefully his wages can free up some spots as well. Lee Grant, we placed him on the transfer list because I just don't think there's any use of him at all. I'd rather have a youngster being the third goalkeeper. So I don't really know why United invested him. It's just 30k, not too much of a big deal, but I don't know. It was a nonsense thing. I like two positions per position, really. 2 players per position, sorry. And yeah, I mean, it's very rare for both your goalkeepers to get injured. But anyways, let's just get into it. Standard tactics, keeping it as is. You know, I did mention in the very first episode there are 2 little things that are a bit weird about this tactic, which is essentially the 2 advanced playmakers playing right next to each other, and you do want, you know, someone that's a bit more of a runner. We've asked Fred to tackle harder to try and address that a bit more, so he's more of a pressuring advanced playmaker. And, you know, when you play an advanced playmaker in centre midfield, that's different to when you play them in an attacking midfield spot. They're expected to be a bit more, you know, more teamwork, a tiny bit more defensive contribution, I guess. But anyways, Lukaku as well, the target man role, I explained, it doesn't suit our tactics that well. My assistant seems to think that he actually is best as a poacher. You could definitely make the case for that. Some nice little attributes there. But his physicals are just incredible. I mean, balance, jumping, reach, strength, heading, those are his key attributes. It's probably his aggression that he's struggling with. But we'll keep things as is, and see how it goes. Maybe we can switch to complete forward role. But again, like I mentioned, he is lacking a bit in vision and passing agility as well. But otherwise, he can definitely do the role as a point. But let's see. Let's just kick things off finally, actually. No lying this time, and 3 points is the order of the day. Let's hope we can grab them. The game's still doing this weird thing where it doesn't actually show all the players, just the goalkeepers. Right, nonetheless, team talk. We're not probably going to be favourites for this one, so we have to try and encourage our players rather than place demands on them. Oh, apparently we are the favourites. Let's give the fans the performance they are expecting of us. Here's normally an indication that you are favourites for the game. We could move into a qualification spot. Will they win here? So go out there and impress me. No, we should be winning this one comfortably. Play your own game, we win. Nope, not really. We should be going for this one. Or actually the one underneath it would have been even better, to be honest, but let's hopefully that does the trick. Alright, so just a few things we need to adjust as well. We're going to have to show key highlights this time, not extended, because we don't have the time, so it's just showing 2 games. We do still want to keep this on director, but we want to show goals. And I think that's pretty much it, so let's get into it. Hopefully we can do something of note. We are at home, so it kind of does make sense that expectations are on us a bit more. But Bayern are Bayern, and we're going to have to do well to beat them. Robin right away taking us on in the flanks, which is a bit of a weak area. But hopefully enough in there to withstand this. Not looking forward to it. First corner of the game goes to Bayern. Hummels rises and he hits the post. You'd have to say my player should have done better there. He was surrounded. But thankfully he couldn't finish, and maybe we can hit them on our own set pieces as well, because we have had success and this is our first opportunity here. Nope, it's cleared initially, but under here is there to pick up the pieces. Don't lose the ball, that's the main thing. Pogba, what can he do? Back to Herrera, Fred, Herrera, Pogba. Alright guys, just keep it, I guess. Right, now find Luke Shaw, please. Pogba, nope, goes to Fred instead, and that's a very decent shot, but not enough in it. Thankfully my players did get back in time, but the highlight continues, so it's not quite over yet. Lewandowski rises, he heads it down to Müller, and Bayern could make a meal out of this yet, but Pogba wins it back. Rashford's there, can he find anyone? He's taken out, and if this is a key highlight, that might mean Boateng sent off here. Please tell me he's sent off. Give us a bit of a better chance. Yes, he's sent off. There you go. That's all we needed. And we were favourites before. If we're not favourites now, then I don't know what to say. So Bayern have changed their formation to pretty much the same as ours, but they got rid of one striker, Alaba. Oh, that's hit the freaking crossbar. I don't look like David De Gea didn't even care. Obviously 3D would give us a bit of a better idea there. But yeah, they're playing as a similar formation for us, but they're one striker less, so to be honest, they shouldn't be having the attacking threat they're having right now. Set piece there, Pogba clears. Can Lingard get to it first? Yeah, he does, but what can he do with it? Rashford's up there by himself, obviously can't win that. Shaw's there, down to Pogba. Herrera's there, we can mop up the pieces. So yeah, we have a bit more penetration, similar formations, so hopefully that means that our flanks aren't as exposed as, you know, because we're playing wingers before, but now they're not. But you know, time will tell. Lukaku, what can you do here? Have to take advantage of this situation. Finds Shaw well, but the delivery has to be perfect. There's 3 in the box. Can you find any? Rashford rises. Fred, shoot. Dribbles and then shoots and he finishes, and that's all we needed. 1-0. Could be a long day for Bayern. 70 minutes left over to the game. They're a man down. But you never know. Sometimes being a man down can rally the troops. So let's hope Bayern just continue to sink. But we're going to get a nice little replay, 3D replay. Yeah, Shaw was a good delivery. Fred's there. It's good. Honestly, the space he made for himself was just top draw, because I think if he took that initial shot when I told him to shoot, basically, it's a good thing he can't listen to me. That probably just would have bounced around the box or hit someone or went out for a corner. He actually made the space well for himself and then he shot it in. Right, so Luke Shaw's injured first, which is not ideal at all because we don't have a backup left back. That is Alexander's the first choice. Luke Shaw is the backup. And now both our left backs are injured. We're going to have to move Young to the left back spot and move Lindelof to the complete wing back spot. So this is plenty of moving around and bring on Jones onto the pitch. This isn't ideal at all. Hopefully it doesn't affect the game too much. I think Lindelof had a couple of games in the right back spot as a complete wing back and he did fairly well. So we should be okay. Bayern though not rolling over for sure. Kimmich is going to try and hurt us. Lewandowski in their post. Hit the bar again. I think we might actually be lucky to still be in this. I mean, they haven't taken their chances at all, but I don't think they're necessarily clear-cut chances either. They just keep hitting the shots on the crossbar, I suppose. Anyways, we kind of throw away our throw-in, and Bayern are going to get forward here just before half-time. We have to try and hold on to our 1-0 lead. Going to half-time, conceding just before half-time would be very disappointing. You know, the conventional or traditional sort of talk, I suppose. But we do need to keep our lead here. Shaw's just absolutely left his man here. Muller's forced to go all the way back, which is perfect for us. Can Rashford put pressure? He does. Lukaku wins the ball played forward. Lingard trying to go solo here, isn't he? Yeah, kind of a weak effort. At least it's on target, but if he shot a little bit stronger, that would have been a golazo for sure. Okay, I love these little tactical instructions that pop up here. It looks like they've changed their approach to going more attacking, things like that. It's good to keep you on your toes like that. I think it's such a good upgrade on FM18 without a doubt. But anyways, 1-0. We have to hold on though because my front three are playing terribly, by the way, so it's just very disappointing. Okay, there isn't my typical team talk here, which is you're doing well, but I want to see more. I don't think keep going there, man down, we can get a result here is too good. So I'm just going to go out and pleased. Even though I'm not too pleased, that might backfire on me, to be honest. Let's hope they don't get complacent. Let's hope that neutralizes that. The player talk neutralizes the main team talk. But I really want to see more from my front three. That's not good enough at all. I mean, if one of them's underperforming, even two, okay, fine. But all three are underperforming, and that's not good enough at all. Anyways, my assistant or whoever it is that's talking to me is telling me that they've changed their formation. We have a bit of a problem at left back now that Young's playing there because he prefers to cut in on his right foot, which isn't good for delivering crosses. We see it at United in real life, but yeah, let's hope Lindelof can deliver good balls instead. First try here, Rashford rises, Kimmich, Rashford, oh, he should have taken advantage, but Lingard does instead. That's a bit better for my front three. 2-0, 49 minutes, move up into second position. We're in the qualification spots. I think the other team is yet to play their game, or maybe they'll play it, or maybe they have. I haven't got a clue. We'll have a look at the table later on. But the important thing is, it looks like we're set to grab all 3 points. Rashford should have gotten the goal there, but I'll take it. I don't care who it goes in from, as long as it goes in. And I mean, this really worked out well for us in the end. Bayern getting a man sent off. We might not have had the chance otherwise. Alright, so no one necessarily tired yet. I'll save the substitutions for later. Hopefully some of the players that are underperforming can step up a bit more. And, maybe like Rashford can grab a goal. Lukaku's a first choice player anyways. I do want to see a bit more from him. If he performs any worse, then I would have to drop him for the next game, but let's see. Anyways, let's start resting some players for the derby. So we'll take off Fred for Pereira. He's had a really good game, got a goal, probably man of the match at this point by the looks of his rating. Young also tired, so's Pogba, but no backups for either of them. So let's just save the third substitutions for a little bit down the line. I kind of always make my substitutions at the same time. I'm not sure if everyone's noticed, but yeah, 60, 70 and 80th minute is pretty much when I make my substitution. So I was just about to pause and make another one, but there is another highlight here. Kimmich trying, okay, Young won that cleanly. I thought it was going to be a penalty for a second. Maybe we can grab a third here on the counter attack, but ball eventually does reach to Rashford. He's going to try and take his man on. If he can just find someone in the box, that'd be good. And he does through Lukaku, bounces off one of the defenders, and he grabs a goal. And that's Rashford and Lukaku striking up a nice little partnership there. And that's pretty much it for Lukaku, I suppose, because there's no backup for Lindelof, or no alternative, let's say, for Lindelof. Gonna change the target man to a complete forward role for Alexis Sanchez. And 3 points, 3 goals, 3-0. I don't think you can ask for more from your players. I'm going to show you after this game the tactic that we're trying to build towards eventually. I don't think I want to stick with a 4-1-2-1-2. The weaknesses on the flanks is a bit too much of a weakness to bear, to be honest, because you really get exposed on the counter-attack through the flanks. There's no doubt about that. You only do have one player back, and it doesn't help that we're playing two advanced playmakers. I like to think we can outscore our opponents, which we've done quite well today, but in general it's not a good long-term solution. You do have to either change the personnel or change the tactic. I've always had success with my 4-2-3-1, or the little tweak on the 4-2-3-1, and I'd like to return to that ideally, because it would work a bit better with the type of football we're trying to play, the pass and move type of football. And of course, having, whenever you play opponents nowadays, more often than not, they have wingers. And that will, of course, cause us trouble down the line. But anyways, at the moment, seem to be doing well. And yeah, so let me show you the third tactic. So I've changed the third tactic. I've pretty much made it for the tactic that I want to eventually build towards. So what we're looking at is a complete forward on support and a shadow striker working together. You can have another inside forward on support here instead, but we're going to go for advanced playmaker because it's likely that Mata is going to be out wide here. An inside forward here in Sanchez and probably maybe Martial. We're going to have Lukaku and maybe Rashford as the backups and as the options on complete forward support. I'm not really sure. This is more of a long-term goal rather than something that's going to happen within a season, for example. I think, every season you have to evaluate your best players and tweak your tactics accordingly. So at the moment, our tactics suit the 4-1-2-1-2 best. We can potentially play 4-2-3-1 as well, but I think, again, just in terms of what's best for the team, 4-1-2-1-2 seem to make the most sense. But this is a tactic I've used many times before, and it's worked really well. Instead of a roaming playmaker, I've actually had a ball-winning midfielder on support. I've got roaming playmaker here with the instruction to tackle harder, but that's only because why I've gone for the roaming playmaker instead of ball-winning midfielder is because Pogba's not a ball-winning midfielder, and he would do best or better in a roaming playmaker role. But anyways, more importantly, we have to focus on the City game. So that's in 3 days' time. So yeah, just a bit of a break, adjust the teams, and give some of the players a rest, and then I'll be back in just a moment. Alright guys, welcome back. So, Manchester City this time around. We're at home again. Hopefully another 3 points, and yeah, Luke Shaw out injured, unfortunately, for 7 to 10 weeks. With Sandro still got a while away, it's not looking pretty for us at left back. We've switched over Young there. We've got Lindelof on right back and Jones in the ball-playing defender role. He's not exactly a very good ball-playing defender. He's got decent passing. It's pretty much just vision that he's lacking. But yeah, technique, passing, first touch, not bad. But you can definitely do better. It's not the best way to get, the best way to get the best out of Jones, essentially. But yeah, hopefully this is enough to beat City in a similar way to the way that we beat Bayern. So pretty much the other alternative was bringing Sanchez back in instead of Rashford. We dropped Rashford. He had a decent game, but I think not good enough to outlast, I suppose, Sanchez, or to keep Sanchez out the side, to be more accurate. So either way, it's, playing a tough opponent, we do want to try and grab all 3 points. So we do need as close as possible to our best starting 11. Let's have a quick look on the Champions League group. So this is how it looks now after that game. Valencia winning all 3 of the games incredibly, and Bayern bottom of the table because of goal difference. And so that 3-0 win, not only was the win good, but the margin of the win helped us get into the qualification spots, and hopefully that's enough to, if we continue performing well, we can still qualify nonetheless and not drop into the Europa League if we're in the 3rd place, and not miss out on European football entirely if we're in 4th place. But it's also good to see that we're not the only ones struggling, the European giants struggling with, Bayern are also struggling as well. Anyways, let's kick off. And the aim always has to be 3 points, but the pressure is definitely on even more so now, given how the table looks. We can't afford anything less, to be honest. But still early in the season, so it won't be the end of the world. But we do want to win our derbies, don't we? I just noticed now that our shape is flexible. I can't believe I didn't realise until now that we've been playing with a flexible shape this whole time. How do you freaking change tactics again? It's supposed to be structured. I'm still getting used to this nonsense. Well, it's not really nonsense, I'm just pissed off because I don't understand any of this. Yeah, I don't know how this... Where is it, guys? Am I not seeing it? I feel like there's something that I'm not seeing. How do I... I'm sorry, this is something that's kind of key. I feel like it is it's in transition, sorry. And I feel like it is meant to be regroup, hold shape. What does that say about my tactics now? Nope, still says flexible. Okay, something's not right. Let me get rid of those instructions. Why do I feel like it's somewhere really basic and I can't see it? Alright, I guess we're just gonna have to move on with it, I suppose. Sorry about that, but I mean, it has to be structured, but we'll just move on. Alright, not favourites of today's game, but we're not the underdogs either, so let's go with the carry on where you finished from the last match. City are definitely going to be very difficult to beat. They do play with the flanks as well, so I have to see top performances from our fullbacks, which are pretty much makeshift fullbacks. And within a minute, City already have something going on. Remember, this is key highlights. Sterling plays it to Walker. Come on, Shaw, stop the cross. David De Gea collects relatively easily. And wait, can I still change it from here? Nope, it brings up the same screen. How do you change the shape? I'm so confused. What is it supposed to be? Counter press? Is that what? I'm sorry, I have to try. What does that say now? Oh, it doesn't say anymore. Right, you know what, forget it. Just have to deal with it. If anyone has a clue... Oh, there you go. Team fluidity structured. Wait, what? Why would it say... Okay, I'm so confused. I don't understand anything anymore. Oh well. Anyways, let's hope this still ends in our favour. Sanchez tries to win the header. It should be Lukaku under that, to be honest. He is playing as a target man after all. But City win the ball back immediately. But Sanchez does well there and wins it again back immediately. Lukaku, can he finish? For a second, it looked like he beat the goalkeeper there. But instead it rises. And I think the game considered that as a clear-cut chance. But anyways, might regret that later on. City do look more tired than us. They must be suffering after that their own Champions League game. Luckily I rested my players for 2 days preparing for this match, but they're definitely dominating shots and shots on target. So I think that shot from Lukaku is pretty much our only chance. Hopefully we can still recover. Silva though, Lindelof heads forwards, and Herrera trying to close De Bruyne down. Long range shot that's not really going anywhere. We'll take that all day long. Let's have a bad. I'm sorry to do this again, but yeah, team fluidity is structured. Is that done by itself or was that me? I'm really confused. And I don't know why it said initially that we were. Anyways, it's 30 minutes now. We haven't seen too much from us, so I'm going to ask my centre mids to push on a bit more. It's a bit risky. Let me just ask Pogba to do it and keep Fred back. Maybe Brack. Just keep Fred back. That shouldn't be tough to say, but it is apparently. Pogba forward to Lindelof. Can he deliver a good ball? He played well in the last match. Man of the match from the right back spot. I guess maybe someone should have attacked that, but the cross wasn't that great either. And City can try and do something here. He spread it right out wide, of course, because they are in a better position there. Fred pressing, even though he's an advanced playmaker, and that's why you ask him to tackle harder so you can put some more pressure on. Lindelof cuts inside, plays it to Herrera. Got a bit of time, he finds Lingard. Can you find Lindelof? Nope, it's lost out, but Bailly's there. Just play it to Young. And what can the Englishman do? Back to Herrera, switch it to Lindelof. Amazing play, this is everything that you'd expect. We just need a delivery now. Lukaku, far post. Oh my god, that's a second clear-cut chance and he should have done better. And that should be 2-0, but at least 1-0. City are definitely going to punish our mistakes. This is always what happens in real life and in FM, to be honest. Pogba forward to Sanchez, a good ball, but needs to try and do something. Lukaku out wide to Young. I guess that's a bit smart. Cross. Lukaku again, and this time he converts. It's 1-0. And we just have to keep it up because City can't deal with us. I was going to switch Pogba back to the support role, but I think we've arguably improved since we switched him into attacking. Maybe we needed that tiny bit more penetration. And yeah, what a finish from Lukaku. You'd argue this is the chance, out of all three of his chances, this is the one that the goalkeeper should have stopped. But yeah, City looked to stop us from celebrating too early. Walker just needs to deliver the ball. Does so to Silva apparently, and that was a bit of a wild shot, but it could have gone anywhere in truth, and we might have gone into half-time with 1-1. We may yet still. Fred, good early win from the throw-in. Sanchez is there. Can you convert? Oh, come on. Why did you take 5 years to take the shot? Thought for a second it might be a penalty the way that FM pauses for a second. Anyways, Herrera just needs to. We just need to find Lindelof or Young. They're free. So much space out wide. If we get it out there, we'll be good. Fred almost lost the ball for us, and Aguero could have come away with it. Bailly does eventually go to Young, but now he's being closed down, so this moment's gone now. But Pogba does well to find Young again, and now we need a similar delivery to the earlier ball. Lingard's there. this time Edison does save it. So that's a very similar save to the Lukaku one. I'm a bit confused why Edison didn't save the one before that. But nonetheless, Young, good, honestly good delivery. It was right in the danger area, just no one attacked it. Lingard's going to try and pick it up here. And he loses out, but thankfully just for a throw in and nothing more, because they really could have counted on us there. But Young and Lindelof, our makeshift fullbacks, are owning this game. We're really just using the full width of our attack, and that's the thing with the 4-1-2-1-2 formation. Everything goes through your fullbacks. They're the ones that provide the width. If they put the good ball in, then you win the game. It's that simple, and thankfully today they're turning up. Pogba, just switch it to Lindelof. There you go, he does it again, and we're really just ripping City to shreds through our wide play. We just have to convert our chances. Sanchez this time, down to Young. Will he take the shot on himself? He does. Out to Pogba, and now he's basically the fullback. And he crosses well to Lukaku, far post, and again 2-0. And we just have to keep this up. I mean, there's such a big issue with complacency in the game, but I can't ask for more for my players. What another goal, a brace for Lukaku, and you'd argue you should have a super hat-trick, which is 4 goals. But the delivery from Pogba is fantastic. The way the ball dips just gives Lukaku the perfect opportunity to grab a second goal, and City just can't deal with our width, and I'd even argue our fitness. We just seem to be able to outrun them everywhere, and thankfully Aguero is having a stinker too, and yeah, just more of this in the second half, and we're coming away with all 3 points at home. Alright, so pleased but not too pleased. Ask a bit more from my players, and they're fired up. They're looking to walk through walls, and that's pretty much all that matters. So City made one substitution at half time, bringing on Delph for Guerrero. I guess that left back spot is still a bit of an issue for them. I'm not sure if they moved Mendy on, or if Mendy probably still has the injury, does he? Oh, I'm not sure. But either way, set piece. Sanchez, Jones is there. Ooh, he goes for the shot. I thought he was going to try and head it back into the middle of the box or whatever, but he doesn't. Either way, 2-0, so not the end of the world, but we do want to make it 3. Herrera's getting booked, and Sanchez is injured. Perfect. That's really nice. Thanks. Alright, Martial, it's your time to shine. We'll make another substitution actually. Can I? Am I allowed? Game? Yep. Alright, let's just watch this highlight first actually. Tell me it's a third. And tell me it's Martial, I'd love that. Herrera. Don't want him getting sent off, to be honest. Lindelof cuts inside, but that's where he loses the ball. He should have stayed wide. That's where we've been causing all our damage, and Sterling can try and get City a goal here. He's pretty much run all over the pitch. The delivery is, I guess, kind of decent, but not aimed at anyone in specific. And De Gea can get us going, maybe. Martial, not ever going to win that, to be fair, but Herrera can rise above Aguero. Ball just bouncing around, and it falls back to Sterling, who has an opportunity to make amends for his earlier cross. Walker with the delivery instead. Lindelof, Pogba, De Bruyne. Come on, just stop this. Silva. Jones takes it out, and there you go. That'll do for now. Martial on the counter attack. He could make all his own. 1-on-1. Can he finish now? Yes, he can. 3-0. I love that. Alright, that's all I needed to know. And Lukaku's the only one that's tired. Would have loved to have given him a rest after that brace. He deserves a nice little ovation from the Old Trafford crowd, but unfortunately he's not going to get it. We're going to get a nice little 3D look at this counter attack. Martial does so well here, so well. That's such a bad angle, and I think even on his weaker foot, to be honest, is the one that he took it with. But still, 3-0 against Bayern and 3-0 against City. I couldn't have imagined this doubleheader going any better, to be honest. I'm just glad this on camera is what matters, to be honest. Alright, so probably let's rest Pogba, Pereira, take off Fred as well, bring on Fellaini, and obviously Fellaini's not an advanced playmaker, so let's change him to the box-to-box midfielder. And 20 minutes to go. We should see this out relatively easily. On paper though, you'd say City should have done better. 15 shots, 5 on target. They had a couple of early chances. If they weren't hitting the crossbar and if they converted any of those chances, God knows how this game would have gone. I love the clean sheet now, but City are trying to ruin that for me. De Bruyne cuts inside, but there's no one necessarily free, only in the wide spaces, and that does Vehicle does well to find Walker. I was almost going to say Walker. And Aguero at the near post. You cannot give him that kind of space. I think the guilty party is Jones, and it was. Let Aguero get away from him, and now suddenly City might feel like they could do something that's a bit scary, to be honest. Bad defending in the end of the day. Look at this. Not sure why Jones wasn't following his man. Lindelof had his, and so did Bailly. So that's all on Jones's shoulders. Hopefully it's just a consolation goal and no more. I'm actually going to ask my players to tighten up a bit, so just a bit of a nervous manager, to be honest. Alright, but looks like we'll be okay. Alright, well, I love the clean sheet, but I'll take this. You know, you could maybe say the result against Bayern was a bit lucky, 3-0, because they got the man sent off, but this one was all us, and it's as good as it gets. I mean, 3-1. Alright, so 6 points, exactly what we aimed to get before we even began today's video or episode, I suppose. But we still need to keep this up. There's plenty of months ahead, so let's have a look at the next month's fixtures and decide what will be for the next episode. Alright, so November, things are heating up for sure. We've got Bayern again, but I don't want to show that back to back. Maybe could show Victoria once more, where we can have an opportunity to get our revenge, and also it would be likely that we would know our fate, or we would decide our fate in this game. Yeah, because the month after that we probably want to show you Tottenham. Could be a Premier League game though. There's 2 away games here, 2 ones at home. It'd be nice to show you the new team in Fulham. Leicester, Bournemouth. Maybe a game against Bournemouth would be a bit interesting. But let's see how it goes. Nonetheless, no really stand-up fixtures other than Bayern, but I don't want to show that again, especially since it's just 2 games away as well. So I guess it'll be a bit of a surprise which team we show you in the next episode. But anyways, that's all for today. So if you did enjoy it, of course, please do hit the like button and subscribe for more daily Football Manager 2019 content. And of course, don't forget to subscribe or turn on the notifications. So that's all. Thank you guys for watching.